I am about to tell you something superb and flawless. Consider the population of deers in a forest. It is affected by many factors like habitat, competitors, predators, say tigers, and the availability of food. We can see changes in their population increase or decrease with a certain period of time. This rate of change can be affected by nature. At first, let us assume that there are no tigers in the jungle. Now, there is no other factor that can reduce the population of the deers. So, the rate of change of the population of deers with time will depend only on their current population. We represent the change in the population of any species with time by this differential equation. This equation suggests that the rate of change of population of the deers in the forest depends on their population itself. That is, the rate of increase in the number of deers depends on the number of deers present. If the population is high, the increase in their population is high too. If the value of constant k is positive, it suggests that the rate is positive. Population increases with time. And if k is negative, population decreases with time. So, according to that equation, this is how the population of deers changes with time. The number of deers increases exponentially. But this is not what happens in reality. If a forest has a deers, it ought to have tigers too. This is what keeps nature balanced. Now, let us add tigers to this forest of our thought experiment. You may suggest that once we add tigers to the forest, the deer population will keep decreasing until all deers wipe out. But this is not how nature works. I'll explain how the scenario changes in an interesting manner. The growth of the species when we have a predator, say tiger, and a prey, say deer, is be explained by the Lotka-Volterra model. This model was made to describe how the population of predators and prey affects each other. It describes the rate of change of population of both species with time. According to this model, the population changes of each species depend on the current population of both. I'll explain you this model with the example of deers and tigers. This is how the differential equation for the rate of change of deer population changes due to the extra term. I'll first explain each term in the equation and then describe the meaning of that equation. The new equation that we got from the Lotka-Volterra model suggests that the rate of change of deer's population depend on the current population of both deers and tigers. When you look towards the equation, it will speak out to you. If the population of tigers is high, the population of deers decreases since the coefficient will be negative. And if the population of tigers is less, the population of deers will increase since the coefficient will be positive. We can similarly describe an equation for the rate of change of the tiger population. The most important thing to note here is both equations of deer and tiger are interrelated. This suggests that population change of both deers and tigers with time is dependent on each other. This is the output graph of both differential equations. A graph that shows the population of both deers and tigers with time. Their population fluctuates periodically. Within a certain period of time, things keep repeating. This is how nature maintains balance on its own. I'll explain the graph with the words. Initially, the number of deers is less, so tigers don't get food and start dying. Due to less number of tigers, deer population start increasing. Deer population keeps increasing. At a certain point, number of tigers start increasing due to the plenty number of deers to eat. As tigers keep increasing, number of deers start to decline. Tigers keep increasing and eating deers. At a point, due to less number of deers, some tigers start dying. So with the decrease in number of deers, number of tigers decrease too. Now due to less number of tigers, deers are safe and begin increasing their population. The cycle continues. That is so surprising indeed. This is how animals maintain the balance of each other's population. I am changing the terms inside the differential equation present in the Lotka-Volterra model. This equation will give this graph as the output. Now you will understand the familiarity of this graph with your life when I describe the graph with my words. Initially, you think less about your condition. This leads to many problems in your life. Due to a problematic situation, you start to think and short it out. Your problems start to decrease. As your thinking level is increasing, till a certain point of thinking, your problems keep decreasing and reach a minimum level. You keep doing that further. This is where you, my friend, start to overthink. the problem in your life begin increasing as you start overthinking. The peak point of your thinking arrives. Here you realize that the rate of increase in the problems in your life has increased. So you kind of give up and don't want to think about the situation. As you start reducing the number of thoughts, the problems reach at a peak and start decreasing too. When you realize that the problems in your life are decreasing, you gain the confidence to think back. The cycle continues. This is how your behavior towards anything works. I would suggest that you must sort out everything and think about a problem only until a critical point of thinking in the graph is reached. Don't think further and leave it. Otherwise, you will end up creating more problems. Thinking till the critical point on the graph is good. Further, it is a mess. What if I tell you this is why we call critical thinking? It is interesting to note that this model works universally. You can swap the terms like this. N1 equals to creativity, N2 equals to boring. This suggests that there is a limit to the creativity you show for making any artistic work, like painting, story, etc. The higher is your creativity, less boring shall your work seem. But if you cross the critical point of creativity, it starts to look boring and less appealing. A similar effect can arise when you swap the terms with these. N1 equals to good, N2 equals to bad. More is the number of good people in the world, bad deeds will decrease. But once the power of good crosses a certain critical point, bad deeds start emerging. I can explain this with an example. In the movie The Dark Knight, Batman asks the Joker, "Why don't you kill me?" To this, the Joker responds, "What would I do without you? You complete me."
Forever. And why do you want to kill me? I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you? Go back to ripping off mob dealers? No, you complete me. You're a guard.
The Joker bad power rises due to the Batman good power. The city of Gotham deals with unusual crimes before the rise of Batman, and these crimes looked by the cops of that city. Due to the presence of cops and other organizations, bad deeds are decreased. But when Batman comes into action, enemies with higher power like the Joker start rising too. This is why the real world doesn't and shouldn't have superheroes. If the power of good is increased by such a high level, enemies with great power would rise on the contrary.